What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Case Digital. My name is Zach, and in today's video, we are answering the question of how to read an image in OpenCV using Python. So, to do this, we're going to need to install OpenCV if you haven't, because OpenCV does not come as a as kind of a built-in package to Python. So to do so, we're going to come down here to the terminal, and essentially we're going to type in and write pip. And if you aren't using a virtual environment, I highly recommend that you use a virtual environment for this. I can link one up here where you can go and show you if you're not familiar with virtual environments. But if you are, you'll want to create one and activate it. Once you have it activated, and you can see mine as activated here, you'll just do pip install, and then you're going to say OpenCV-Python. And then when I go ahead and install this, it'll say that, hey, for me, it's already met because I use OpenCV quite a bit. And so I already have it installed in my version of my virtual environment. So once we have that installed, then we need to go ahead and import OpenCV into our Python script so that we can use it. And to do it, you're just going to say import and then CV2. Some you will see, some things when you import it will be the exact same as what the name of like the install was, like OpenCV-Python, but in our case, it's just CV2. So now that we have OpenCV installed into our virtual environment, as well as imported into our script, we can now go and learn how we can take this image right here, and we can get it and read it and display it essentially. And we'll hop right in and do that now. So OpenCV uses essentially one function to read in, and that way you can, once you've read it in, you can use that information to do whatever you want, whether it's display an image or do whatever. Now, that image is really simple. All I have to come down here is, since I have this imported now, I can say img is equal to, and then cv2.imread, and then we just need to pass it in the, now there's many things that you can kind of pass in. There's the file name, which is the for sure thing you have to pass in. And then there's the flags. And the flags, we'll talk about it here in another video, but essentially with the file name, it can be either the relative path or the exact path to the actual file name. Now, for this example, this test image up here, .png, is actually in the same folder as my script. So because of that, I can technically just say test_image.png. But you also mentioned, Zach, that, hey, this could be the relative path. So what do you mean by that? Well, a relative path meaning you can do something like, if this image was one folder up, rather than putting in like /user/Zach/ blah 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 whatever directory / testimage.png, I can just say something like .. and then that will assume that because of this notation that we're going up one directory and then the image is stored there. But because we know that that image is not true, it's actually in the same directory, we could also give it a relative path of .. and then this. You can also too, just to make sure that nothing gets missed, is find the exact long path of our image and then put that whole thing in there as well, and that will be able to read it in. Now, once you have that, all essentially you have to do is we go ahead and we come down here and we run this, and we'll see that nothing gets displayed, nothing happens. So how do we know that this didn't work, other than the fact that the program didn't crash? Right? Well, we can do one method to check this that I always like to use every now and then when I'm not sure, is you can simply say like print and then img.shape. Now what this will do is we'll pop out information about that image, so that way we know that, hey, it did actually read something in, and hey, that we actually have something that we can use going forward. So if I go down here and rerun this, you'll essentially see that this pops out a tuple of 3 values. Now, these 3 values are height, width, and channels, the number of channels, because this image happens to be an RGB image, and so it's going to have 3 channels and then a height and a width. And just like that, we have now read in an image using OpenCV in Python. So if you have any questions about this, please leave them in the comments below. But until next time, keep on programming.